Alrighty guys, how you guys doing? Welcome to Apple Weekly number 53, the show where I cover everything Apple, go over the latest kind of stories and rumours, give you my thought on it, get your thoughts on it, or get some of your abuse on it. Broadcasting on both YouTube and iTunes, should you wish to download it on your iPad, your iPhone, your iPod Touch, on the way to work, college, uni, whatever it may be. Before getting started, I would appreciate if you check out igear.com. In essence, travel jacket slash gadget jacket, heck, put whatever you want in it. Concept is pretty simple, take everything, everywhere. The first story, and this is going to put a smile on some of your faces, iPad 3 coming pretty soon. Shortages have been reported of the current iPad 2 3G version. The Wi-Fi version seems to be in stock at most places, however the 3G version is pretty low, out of stock at most retailers. Orange UK has ran out of the 32 and the 64 gig. And as we all know, or for those of you who don't know, when something goes out of stock, whether it be at Apple stores or other third-party stores, it is a pretty solid indication that a new version, a revised version is coming. We've seen it with the MacBook Pros, iPhones, iPod Touches in the past, where stock is, when it's out, new ones are coming, so it's worthwhile holding out. On top of this, All Things D have kind of echoed the same rumour, saying Apple is going to be holding an event on the first week of March where they'll be demonstrating the new iPad 3, and then come 2 or 3 weeks later, that is when people are going to be standing in queues, and that is when the launch is going to take place mid-March, according to All Things D and The Loop, who are pretty reliable in what they say. Apple usually tend to hold their media events at this place. I'm not going to make an attempt in pronouncing it, but this has been used for various launches, media events by Apple, so there's a slot available on the 7th of March, and this could be well taken by Apple. Who knows, or they might hold it in-house. Nothing is confirmed, but a March debut of the iPad 3 is pretty much on its way. Kind of staying on the iPad 3 stuff, we've seen some leaks come out. Here is a case, a back case. I know it's not really attractive or doesn't give much away, other than it's a back shell of an iPad 3. One of the notable things is the sensor of the camera on the back seems to be larger. So hey, we all know how exciting it is picking up an iPad and taking photos. You just look pretty slick, don't you? Well, Apple are investing heavily into the rear camera because it's been used quite a lot by people. Insert sarcasm here. So yeah, the iPad 2 camera is not too great, it's doable. The front facing camera is okay for FaceTime, but hopefully if this is indeed the back case, we can expect a better camera, better qualityness, does that make sense, from the next generation iPad 3. Other than that, what can we expect? Various people have said it's essentially going to be similar to an iPad 2, the same form factor. Everything, it's just going to be an iPad 2S, put it that way. So basically that means better processor, better graphics, HD Retina display. That would be a dream come true. But we're not too far away, let's see what happens in March. What do you want from the iPad 3? Are you waiting out on an iPad 3? Leave your comments below. But iPad 2s are not the only Apple devices that are out of stock or low in inventory. Guess what? Apple TV is also reportedly being upgraded in the next few weeks. This screenshot coming in from a Best Buy inventory system shows that the Apple TV is out of stock, not being delivered to stores, any retail Best Buy store for a number of weeks or a number of days. And same thing if you go into Amazon.com. Again, it's 2 to 5 weeks. Yes, you can get it from eBay or third-party sellers or wherever your aunts, grands, dogs, grandma might be selling one. But the point is, it's not being sold by major retail stores. And this, again, as I said, is a good indication that a refresh is, you know, round the corner. Right, next up, kids, look away, go away. This talk is between the daddies, i.e. the MacBook Air, MacBook Pro. They're going to merge. Well, hey, didn't I call that a few months back? Did I not call that? I did. You can go back and rewind to the channel and see me calling that one. But it kind of makes sense. I would welcome that, providing the new MacBook Pros are user upgradable. As we know, you can't upgrade these yourself. You can't upgrade the RAM. You can upgrade the flash storage, but you might as well just buy a second MacBook Air because it's just too friggin' expensive. The MacBook Pros come whenever they redesign this year. A few weeks from now, April was the quoted date for the refreshed MacBook Pros. I would welcome a similar look to the MacBook Air. I really do need the flash custom storage on it. No need for the old chunky hard drives, because that is going to make the machine heavy. No optical drive. I guess, you know, Apple are heading that way, and who still use discs? I know some pros are going to bash me for that one, but hey. Quad core chipsets. We've got quad core in the MacBook Air, so there's no reason why they can't have it in the MacBook Pros. Still got to have the gorgeous screen as the MacBook Air, as standard on all the Pro versions. None of that glossy mirror effect. No need for it. Processors. The MacBook Pro is known for speed, so it has to have speed. It has to have that pro appeal to it. You know, lacking on graphics and so on, or you know, 2 gigs of RAM or 4 gigs of RAM as standard. I don't really think that would be, it would go down well. Again, it has to be customizable. How well Apple lock us down, that is the question. There's reports that Apple is going to initially release a 15-inch MacBook Air, and then a few months later on release a 17. Doesn't really make sense. It would make sense to have the entire MacBook Pro. I say entire, the 15 and the 17. It's fair to say the 13 is out of the game because of the Airs. But it would make sense to have the 15 and 17 being upgraded at the same time. But here's a question that I want to ask. Let's say, you know, Apple do kind of refresh this and they have a MacBook Air 15, MacBook Air 17. Would it be enough to make you upgrade from an 11 or a 13 inch? You know, why would you upgrade to a 15 or a 17? Is it because of speed, larger screen, user upgradable? What would it be? And it's goodbye or cheerio to the white MacBooks. You shall be missed. As we know, last year Apple removed the white MacBooks from their online store, so the average Joe couldn't purchase them, but yet they were still providing them to educational institutions only. But even that now, Apple is removing that option, so whatever they have left in their warehouse now, that is all that there is. They're not going to be making new ones, so a bit of a sad move. Although that said, instead of the white MacBooks, Apple are providing MacBook Air bundles. So if an institution buys 5 MacBook Airs in a bundle, they get a hefty discount. By hefty, I really mean $20 off per MacBook. They've got various bundles, shipping within 3 to 5 days. Not that you're interested, but MacBook Airs are the future. And last but not least, some sad news when it comes to promotions and offers. Apple used to offer a really good deal where if you buy a new Mac, you get a free printer, or £60 towards a printer. Now, no longer is that the case. You're not going to get any discount, you're not going to get a free printer. Sad times, I know. So it was really a haven for students. You would get your student discount, you would get a free printer, and if you bought it at the right time, you would get a free iPod Touch. So now one of those options are gone, and I hope they don't change their minds later on the student discount, you know, removing that. Although that said, they've introduced a new employee promotion, so if an employee buys a Mac, they get hefty, and I mean hefty discounts. I think it's somewhere in the region of $400 US or $500 US. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that is the kind of value. That is it for this week in Apple, guys. I hope you liked it. If you can leave comments, abuse, down in the comments below. Video responses would be welcome. What are you looking forward to in the next MacBook Air Pro-ish or the iPad 3? Be interesting to check it out, and I will see you next week. Before I go, if you could check out iGear.com, that would be great. You, sir, or madam, would be a legend and a half. Cheers, guys.